tried to regulate your children and nothing is working. What's a mom gonna do? To answer this question, we gotta really think about what is regulation. When you have two adults, regulation is the sharing of like emotional affect, the emotional landscape between two people. So I share my energy, my feeling, and you share yours, right? And I take yours on and you take mine on and they mix to kind of even out. Now, when you have an adult and a child, it is not bi-directional, it is unidirectional. So that means that as a grown-up, I am taking increased responsibility for the emotional tenor and I'm titrating to my child's brain and nervous system needs in order to get them met and help them regulate. I'm going to lend them my nervous system. Now, if you think about lending your child your nervous system, part of what you're trying to do is not provide the supports that would help you regulate, but to provide the supports to your child that would help your child regulate. And typically when I have a parent who says to me, I've tried everything and nothing is working to help them regulate, it's because we haven't quite dialed in the kinds of supports that your child needs to regulate, which may be different than yours. For example, if you like to regulate by going for a walk, and you take your child outside for a walk when they're really upset, and maybe it helps a little, but they're still really upset, maybe they don't have that kind of sensory need. Maybe they need you to help them get something to eat, or help them know what is next, or help them process a transition, or help them feel felt and have their perspective understood. Now, if you have tried going for a walk, and you have tried holding ice, and you have tried giving it time, and you have tried reducing the sound and sensory environment, and you have tried helping your child reflecting back their emotions, and they're still really upset, it just means that we haven't tried the right thing yet. And it means that there's something going on between you and your child that is in between really making sense of what they actually need. So your child's brain and nervous system is unique to them. And part of what we're doing as parents is wondering, okay, what does this kiddo need in order to stay regulated? And I would far rather you think about that question when your child is regulated so that you can build the supports in all the time instead of just when they're losing their mind. When they're losing their mind, I want you to think about no language, move slowly, reduce sensory input, sound, visual clutter, that kind of stuff, and staying close. All the rest of the time, that's when I want you to play with things like helping your child stay regulated by moving slower, by helping them get their feelings felt, by, for example, for a while, one of my kids was really melting down every day after school in the car, and so I started bringing the dog to pick up. Worked like a charm because for her particular profile, she does really well with animals. And so all I had to do was get ahead of the upset by bringing the animal. Do you see how the time to work on regulating with your child is not actually when they're super dysregulated? It's all the rest of the time in your own thought process and in the conversations with your child around what can we play with? What can we practice? Now, don't expect your kid to tell you what they need to regulate. That question is too big. Most adults can't even answer it. But do expect to kind of play together. You know your kid best. You know what helps them bring it down with some options. Do we like to use essential oils? Do we like to have a cup of tea? Do we need a quiet moment together? Do we need to get the dog? Until you sort of settle on something that really honors and respects your child's profile. If you need more help figuring out what your kid's profile is, comment the word regulation 1, the number 1 after the word regulation, and I'll drop you my recent class on regulation.